Everybody, welcome back to the cabin. Today is the 4th of January or something. No, today's the 6th or 7th of January, and buddy Terry and I are out on a remote lake in the backcountry in north central Ontario, and we're fishing for splake today, which is a hybrid between lake trout and brook trout. So this is not a heavily fished lake, and there's only one trapper's cabin on the lake, and there's nothing really else in this whole region. It's not developed. So these back lakes here are full of different species of trout being headwaters. A lot of spring-fed lakes are deep and cold, so they harbor species like lake trout, brook trout, and stock splake, which is a hybrid between lake trout and brook trout. So that's what we're up to today. It's cold, minus 21 Celsius with the wind chill. We've got a storm coming in, so an east wind is picking up, and then tonight we're getting maybe 4 to 8 inches of freezing rain, ice pellets, and then snow, and then temperature plummets back down again to well below zero, well below freezing again the following day. So up and down, but this is fairly typical for January. We probably will get one thaw this month where might get up to like 10 degrees Celsius and lots of melting going on for a day or two, and then it'll go back down again. So the lakes are, you'll see the machines laboring a little bit. You'll see us walking through slush. There's a lot of water on top of the ice and a lot of snow on top of that. The ice itself, I'm not sure how many inches, maybe 6 inches thick, and not the greatest ice, but it's fine. It's enough to support us. We're not worried about falling through, although we are checking periodically to make sure that we are safe. So follow along and see how we do today. It's new to me. Terry knows this area well, but it's a completely new area to me, so I'm excited to learn what I can today, and then maybe get back here again a few times with Terry. And, in my spare time, I'll explore all the areas between here and there, here in the cabin. So been looking forward to this for years, but finally have the machine here and the time to actually get out there and get more into ice fishing and try to put more fish in the larder for the year while the ice is solid and I can get out here and fish. So stay tuned, and see you out on the ice shortly. Man, that's a lot of water on top.
It's bad here for that.
Yeah, always?
Yeah. I get to work in all this water.
crazy. Can't imagine cows sitting there.
It takes a little bit to train them, but
Yeah.
usually they do.
Last year I made a video about dressing for cold weather. I'll put that link in the description below near the top so you can click on that if you're interested. Not a lot has changed from last year other than the fact that I'm spending more time outdoors, but the biggest change is the snowmobile. And that's one thing to dress for the ambient temperature and even the wind chill, but getting on a snowmobile and traveling at 60 to 100 kilometers an hour changes things drastically, so you need to be dressed that much warmer. So this snowmobile suit, one piece, because it is warmer, is pretty well essential for this kind of thing. This is also a flotation suit, which is critical. In the past, I remember I used to have a Mustang jacket that I would wear for snowmobiling and for especially for duck season or late season duck hunting. It was awesome. Actually, that extra insulation for flotation not only worked as flotation but also as warmth, insulation for warmth. But this sweater was one of the things I wore last year in that video. This is a thick 100% wool sweater. It can get wet and it still keeps me warm. This hat, this is real fur on here, that also keeps me warm. But what point I want to make here is I'm sitting here clearing ice out of the hole with my bare hands. I think it's like minus 21 or something right now with the wind chill. When your core is warm and your head is covered and keeping the heat in, it's amazing how warm your hands stay. In fact, most of the time we're both going without gloves today, other than when we're on the machine or sitting around not doing too much and starting to cool down a little bit. The other thing I like about this particular snowmobile outfit is that it has suspenders which allows you inside, which allows you to strip off this top portion when you're active, sitting around a hole, or when you're stopped. You need to be fully zipped up when you're on the machine for sure, especially in these temperatures, and with the helmet and everything on as well. But in this temperature, sitting around especially around the fire, I'm going to overheat, so being able to pull this down is essential. But like I said, point I want to really make is that take care of your core first. Most people end up with cold feet. It's a few things. One is lack of circulation, so if your legs are bent and you're not getting enough blood flow to your feet, that's one thing that makes them freeze. Another is moisture. Typically, if you wear boots that are rated for cold temperatures like these Baffins that I'm wearing, this Control Max, they're rated to minus 70. That's awesome for snowmobiling or sitting around on cold and wet, in this case ice. But it's horrible for active activities like snowshoeing. If I wore these snowshoeing, my feet would sweat like crazy. As soon as I stopped, that sweat would freeze and my feet would freeze. So it's really important to layer for that reason and to choose clothing that's suitable for the activity that you're mostly doing, even if it means bringing something extra. So if I'm doing a backcountry snowshoe trip like this instead of a snowmobile, I'll wear actually my lighter Merrell boots that are probably only good to like minus 10 if I was stationary. But when I'm actively snowshoeing into a place sweating, those boots are more than warm enough, and then I'll have a pair of down camp boots that I wear around the campfire. And that and by having two pair of footwear like that, I'm able to then put those boots that I was sweating in during the day by the fire to dry. In fact, all my outdoor boots and gloves and everything else typically have melt marks or burn marks all over them for that reason. So, point being, take care of your core and your head, and your hands and your feet are going to be less of a worry for you.
Artificials anywhere for ice fishing usually?
Holy smokes. Nice.
That's a beauty. Wow. Awesome.
That's incredible.
Right on. You know what's funny? I broke my line putting it down because I had a knot, so I was just hanging on to the broken line and it went down. He got tangled up and I wonder if that's what cut my line the first time. because it got 2 sinkers on it. Look it.
That's your other line?
That's my other one right there. So he come back for another one.
A lot colder now. The wind's really picking up, mostly because we're out of the lee of that higher bank on the north side of the lake now. The wind's whipping out of the east because we have a major storm coming in. It's supposed to get maybe 4 or 5 inches of freezing rain and then snow. So this cold is going to turn into warm for a day and then back down again. Plummets down to minus 21 tomorrow night, I think. So this is what we do for fun up here. Terry got that one nice splake, which is a cross between a lake trout and a brook trout. Pretty aggressive fish typically. So if you find them, usually you can get them to hit, but that's the only one we've had so far. I think I had one on when Terry hooked that one, and it wrapped me around something on bottom, so it broke off. But nothing else for the rest of the day. It's starting to get later in the day now too, so we're gonna be wrapping it up fairly soon. If we were ambitious, stay out here right till dark and get the evening bite, but we have a long way to get back too, so probably won't be out here too much longer. Anyway, it's hit and miss when you're doing this kind of thing, but you have to enjoy it and you have to embrace winter because it can be long here. So it's nice to get out and do something fun like this with somebody, with a buddy. So we'll see if this is the end of the video. Then we'll see this Friday up at the cabin. I'm going to be posting. I'm going to be working on the sauna for the rest of the week, so I'll upload that. But in the meantime, I'm just enjoying a couple of days off again and getting out, doing some fishing, and hopefully end up with a meal at the end of the day. And if not, then it's the way it goes. You can't count on fish and game, especially at this time of year. You got to work for it.